Like and subscribe right now, or this spider will crawl your face while you're sleeping. Hello again to everyone and welcome back to MindRead, your go-to channel for top 10 list videos of all types, based on images and comments sent in by subscribers like you. If you like this video, please do us a big favor and give it a thumbs up. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to MindRead and click on the notification bell to be notified as soon as we post a new video. It's like getting VIP access to our videos. I mean, there's no velvet rope, but you can be one of the first to see what we've posted on a new video. So, get clicking. Elf on a Shelf dolls have been around since the year 2005, when author Carol Abersold self-published a children's book with the same name, which tells the tale of a little elf sent by Santa Claus to report back on the behavior of all the children in the country. An adorable little toy elf that is sold with Miss Abersold's book has become a sort of watchman over the behavior of children in many households throughout the country. But I guess even elves have to have fun too, as we will be showing you in this video, as they participate in all types of antics that will have you laughing your butt off and probably a little bit creeped out at others. So without further ado, let's get into today's top 10 video, showcasing the top 10 insane elf on a shelf caught moving on camera. Mover and Shaker number 10, the Skeletal Smiler. At the start of this video, this skeleton figure seems to be looking intently somewhere off screen at something or someone. It doesn't take long, however, to discern what the Halloween decoration is looking at. A few seconds later, the arm of an elf on the shelf doll reaches into the shot and pokes the skeleton's face with its tiny nub of a hand. The creepy skeleton responded to this intrusion of its personal space by leaning toward the elf, his eyes flashing red. Unfazed, however, the elf merely waits until the skeleton stops moving and then leans into the shot with a big grin on its face, clearly pleased with himself. Mover and Shaker number 9, Skittle Heist. Okay, so in this next video we will see a huge bag of Skittles just sitting open on the counter in someone's kitchen, looking like someone either left it open on purpose, perhaps to try to catch a thief, or perhaps it was just out of carelessness. Either way, an elf on the shelf soon spies the sweet treats as he leans into the cracked doorway in the background and then disappears in a puff of smoke as quickly as he appeared. Mere seconds later is another puff of smoke. The elf shows back up right next to the open bag of Skittles candy. He then looks back and forth between the bag of Skittles and the camera as if to make sure he's not being watched. After doing this a few times and being satisfied, he reaches over and knocks over the bag of Skittles. A mere instant later, the elf is caught red-handed as a human hand reaches into the camera's shot and seizes the elf doll. The elf, however, is not bothered as he soon disappears in a final puff of smoke. Pretty slick, little guy. Number 8, Dish Drain Doll. In this next video, we see a sink, and off to the side of it, a dish drain full of clean dishes. It's not easy to tell what the elf is doing in the dish drain, but it soon appears that he gets tired of whatever he's doing in the dish drain and decides to float over to the faucet and turn the water on. It's unclear what his intention is in doing so, whether he's planning to help with the dishes or take a little bath. But once he sees the camera recording him, he floats up to the camera and peers into our souls through the lens. Creepy much. Number 7, Shy Little Guy. Here we see a miniature version of the elf on a shelf who starts off the video resting on the top of an upholstered armchair. Seconds later, he hops off the chair to the chair's arm. After that, he sort of floats somewhere off screen for a second and then over to the table right next to him. Next, he turns his whole tiny body to his right, then to the left, presumably to check and see if he's being discovered by a human. Once he is satisfied that he hasn't been discovered, he hops forward, turning to look both ways yet again. Then, apparently spotting the video camera and fearing that someone is watching him, he floats up to the camera and knocks it down. I guess he's camera shy. Or perhaps he just doesn't want any witnesses to whatever he was doing. Mover and Shaker number 6, Shifty-Eyed Elf. In this next video, we see an elf on a shelf being poked in the belly by a candy cane. What is it with these little guys and candy? This seems relatively innocent and uneventful until the eyes begin to move and fix themselves on the offender. To be honest with you guys, I have expected the elf to yank the candy cane out of the person's hand and do God knows with it. Mover and Shaker number 5, Christmas Tree Disappearance. In this video, we see an elf doll sitting in one of the lower branches of a beautiful Christmas tree. It is unclear whether he was placed there on purpose by a human being or if he sat there on his own volition. But it doesn't matter because he doesn't stay there that long. A couple of seconds later, we see him get up and kind of float upward toward the ceiling. then off screen for about 10 minutes or so, then return to the same spot where he was at the beginning of the video. It isn't clear what he was doing for that 10-minute window where he was absent, but with everything that the other little guys get into, we're almost certain that it was mischievous. There definitely wasn't enough time for him to have gone all the way to the North Pole and back. Number 4. No touchy the hat, bro. What is it with men and not wanting us women to touch their hats? Whatever the case, apparently elves are the same way as men, even though they couldn't possibly have hat hair. In this video, we see an elf who has been hung upside down by his little feet. Then we see a hand come into the shot with its pointer finger out and poke the tip of the elf's hat. How does he respond? He does so by blinking his eyes at the offending hand each time it touches his pointy little hat. Pardon the pun, but this is an eye-opening discovery for us, because this reveals that the elf dolls actually have eyelids. Weird. Mover and shaker number 3, popcorn pit. Now, in most cases, we have seen that the elf dolls don't generally take too kindly to being caught on tape. However, this is not always the case, as we see in this video. In this case, we see an elf doll actually interact with the video camera by filming himself while he makes popcorn, pours it into a bowl, which he then jumps into like a ball pit at Chuck E. Cheese. This little guy sure seems like a lot of fun. If he was mine, I'd take him along to parties and have him perform the trick for all my friends. Alright folks, the time has come for the picture of the week, sent in by a very special one of our subscribers. Here, we see one elf apparently trying to cover another elf doll in a white powdery substance like flour, sugar, or salt. It's unclear what his true intention in doing so is, but it sure does look messy. Alright, let's move on to number 2. Mover and shaker number 2. Open pooper. Okay, so this video is of a pretty nasty nature. Here we see an elf and a tall glass on a countertop. Next we see the elf float over to seat himself on the edge of the glass. Soon afterward, we see something appear to come out of his rear end and drop into the bottom of the glass. Then we see several others come out and drop down. It may be wishful thinking on my part, but the little pellets look like chocolate chips. At least I kinda hope so, because otherwise this would be much more disgusting and I'd never want to drink out of the glasses in that house. But the video doesn't end there. Once he's done pooping, he then floats over to the top of a roll of paper towels in the background and sort of rubs his haunches on the roll of paper towels to clean himself. Number 1. Fraidy Cat Elf. The last elf we're going to show you appears to be trying to sneak up on a Halloween decoration that looks kind of like a sleeping skeleton draped in some kind of sheath or head covering. It kind of looks to me like the Halloween decoration is trying to sleep. Then, as the elf comes up close to him, he springs to life, shooting up to a seated position, and screams the word "Help! Let me out!" sending the little elf into hiding, right under where the skeleton decoration had been lying. Well folks, that's the end of our list. Do you have an elf on the shelf story to tell? Let us know all about it in the comments section below. Then leave a thumbs up on this video because it makes us super happy. Also, make sure to subscribe to MindRead, because we post new videos 3 times a week. Don't forget to click on that notification bell to be notified as soon as we post a top 10 video. It's like having VIP tickets to your favorite show. We'll see you next time, right here on MindRead.